Be me, 52, lifelong feminist activist and mother of 2 adult children. Spent 30 years fighting for women's rights, women's independence, female empowerment. Raised my children, especially my daughter, with feminist values. Taught her that women don't need men, that marriage is patriarchal trap. Taught her that career is most important thing, independence is freedom. Taught her that traditional marriage is oppression, traditional roles are slavery. Taught her to reject expectations of wife and mother. Taught her that she could have everything, that feminism would give her everything. I was so proud of her feminist education, so proud of her modern values. I thought I was giving her tools for freedom, for independence, for power. I thought I was protecting her from patriarchal oppression. I thought I was preparing her for modern world. 2024 comes, and I'm having lunch with my daughter. She's 28 now. I'm expecting to hear about her career, her accomplishments, her independence. Instead, she tells me something that absolutely destroys me. She says, "Mom, I want to get married." I think, okay, that's fine, she's found someone. But then she says more. I want a traditional marriage. I want to stay home and raise children. I want to be a wife and mother. I don't want to have a career. I want a husband who provides. I want the life you told me was oppression. I literally cannot process this. This is rejection of everything I taught her. This is rejection of everything I fought for. This is rejection of feminism. This is rejection of me. I respond, "You can't be serious." She responds, "I'm completely serious. I've thought about this for years. I don't want career. I don't want independence. I want family. I want home. I want to be wife and mother. I want traditional marriage." I'm devastated. I feel like I failed her. I feel like my entire life's work failed. I ask her, "Why would you want this? Why would you want to be trapped in traditional role? Why would you give up your independence? Why would you become dependent on a man?" She responds, "Because I want to be happy. Because I want family. Because I want meaning. Because I'm exhausted from feminism. Because I don't want career, I want life." I'm shocked. She's exhausted from feminism. She wants to escape it. I ask her, "What are you talking about? What do you mean exhausted from feminism?" She explains, "Mom, you raised me to be independent. You raised me to reject traditional roles. You raised me to pursue career. But now I'm 28 and I'm burned out. My career is unfulfilling. My independence is lonely. I have money but no family. I have career but no meaning. I'm exhausted." I tell her, "That's not feminism's fault. That's life. That's how it is." She responds, "No, it's exactly feminism's fault. Feminism told me I could have it all. Feminism told me career would be fulfilling. Feminism told me independence would be freedom. But feminism lied. Career isn't fulfilling if you're alone. Independence isn't freedom if you're lonely. I don't want this anymore. I'm struggling to understand. This is my daughter rejecting my worldview." I ask, "Have you met someone? Is there a man involved in this?" She says, "Yes, there's a man. His name is Josh. He's traditional too. He wants to provide, wants to be breadwinner, wants me to stay home, raise children. And I want that with him." I ask, "What does this Josh do?" She says, "He's an engineer. He makes good money. He's successful. He's stable. He wants to take care of me." I respond, "And you're okay with being dependent on him? You're okay with not having your own income?" She says, "Yes, I'm okay with it. I trust him. I want to build life together. I want to raise children. I want to be supported." I'm hearing something I never expected to hear. From my own daughter. Daughter, I raised to be independent. I tell her, "This isn't what I raised you for." She responds, "I know. That's why I'm telling you. I know this isn't what you want. But it's what I want." I ask her, "How long have you felt this way?" She says, "For years actually. Since my early 20s. I watched you. I watched your life. You were independent. You had career. But you were also always stressed. Always working, always tired. You sacrificed everything for career. You sacrificed relationships. You sacrificed children. You sacrificed family. And I didn't want that for myself." This hits me. She's saying I sacrificed family for career. She's right. I did. I had her and my son, but I worked constantly. I was never really present. I was always focused on career, on activism. She continues, "I don't want your life. I don't want to be alone and successful. I want to be married and happy. I want children. I want family. even if it means not having career. I'm realizing something devastating. I spent 30 years fighting for women's right to have career. I fought for women's independence. But I never actually asked if that's what women want. I assumed it was what women want. I assumed career was liberation. But my own daughter is rejecting it. My own daughter wants traditional life. I ask her, "Are you okay with what feminism calls oppression?" She says, "Maybe what feminism calls oppression is actually what makes women happy. Maybe traditional roles aren't oppression. Maybe women being wives and mothers is actually fulfilling. Maybe feminism was wrong." I can't believe I'm hearing this. I can't believe my daughter is challenging feminism. I can't believe my daughter wants traditional life. I tell her, "You're making a mistake. You're rejecting your freedom. You're giving your power to man." She responds, "No, I'm choosing life I want. I'm choosing family. I'm choosing happiness. This is actually choosing for myself. You're not letting me choose. You're trying to force me into feminism, just like you accuse patriarchy of forcing women. This stops me." She's right. I'm trying to force my values on her, just like I accused traditional society of doing. I'm being what I accused others of being, a force pushing women toward what I think is right. I ask her, "What if this marriage doesn't work? What if he leaves you? What if you're left with nothing?" She says, "That's a risk. But it's a risk I want to take. I want to trust someone. I want to depend on someone. That's what I want from life." I realize I can't convince her. I realize she's made her decision. I realize I've lost her to traditional life. I decide to interview other mothers. Mothers who raised feminist daughters, who are now seeing daughters reject feminism. First mother, 54. "My daughter told me same thing. She wants traditional marriage. She wants to be stay-at-home mom." I was devastated. I feel like I failed her. I feel like my entire life was for nothing. Another mother, 56. "My daughter is marrying man. She's leaving career. She's becoming housewife. I can't believe it. This isn't what I wanted for her." Another mother, 51. "My daughters rejected everything I taught them. Both of them want traditional lives. Both of them want to be wives and mothers. Both of them rejected feminism. I feel like my activism was wasted." I interview feminist professors, asking them about this trend. One professor admits, "We're seeing younger women rejecting feminism. Younger women preferring traditional roles. It's beginning of backlash." Another professor, "Young women want what feminism told them not to want. They want families, they want motherhood. They want traditional marriage. They're rejecting our message." Another professor, "We failed them somehow. We pushed too hard. We made traditional roles seem like oppression. But some women want traditional roles." I interview younger women, not just my daughter. Ask them, "Why do you want traditional marriage?" First woman, 26. "Because I want meaning. Career doesn't give me meaning. Family gives me meaning. Motherhood gives me meaning. I want to focus on that." Another woman, 28. "Feminism promised everything. Promised we'd have career and family. Promised we could do it all. We can't. We're burned out. I want to choose family. And stop pretending career is fulfilling." Another woman, 25. "I watched my mother. She had everything feminism wanted. Career, independence, freedom. But she was miserable. She was alone. She missed so much. I don't want that." Another woman, 30. "Feminism told me to reject men. Feminism told me not to depend on men. But I want partnership. I want to depend on someone. I want someone to depend on me. That's healthy. That's what I want." Another woman, 24. "Traditional marriage isn't oppression. It's a choice. Some women choose it. That should be okay. But feminism says it's not okay. Feminism is intolerant." I'm realizing something. These women aren't victims. These women aren't being oppressed. These women are actively choosing traditional roles. They're choosing it because it makes them happy. I ask one woman, "Don't you worry about being dependent?" She responds, "No, because I trust my husband. Because we're building something together. Because it's partnership, not oppression. If it becomes oppression, I can leave. But it's not. It's actually wonderful." I interview men about this too. Ask them, "How do you feel about providing?" First man, 35. "I actually want to provide. I want to take care of my wife. I want her to be able to stay home. I want to be breadwinner. This makes me feel like man. This gives me purpose." Another man, 32. "Feminism told me providing is oppressive. Feminism told me traditional roles are bad. But providing to someone I love is actually fulfilling. I want to do this. Another man, 38. I want wife at home. I want her to raise children. I want to provide. I want partnership. This is what makes me happy. I'm realizing something fundamental. Feminism was wrong to assume all women want career. Feminism was wrong to assume traditional roles are oppression. Feminism was wrong to force ideology on women. Some women actually want traditional lives. Some women actually find fulfillment in family. Some women actually want to depend on partner. This isn't oppression if they're choosing it. I go back to my daughter. I have to have difficult conversation. I tell her, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I forced my values on you. I'm sorry I made you feel like traditional role was wrong. I'm sorry I didn't listen to what you wanted. She responds, thank you for saying that. I've been scared to tell you. I didn't want to disappoint you, but I want to be happy. And this makes me happy. I ask her, can you forgive me? She says, I already have, but I need you to accept my choices. I need you to stop trying to push feminism on me. I tell her, I will. I'll accept your choices. But I need to understand something. Aren't you scared of being dependent? She responds, no, because I've chosen this partner. I trust him. And if it doesn't work, I can do something else. But right now, this is what I want. And I'm happy. I realize I was wrong. I spent 30 years fighting for women's freedom. But I was actually limiting women's freedom. I was telling women what they should want. True freedom means women can choose traditional or modern. True freedom means women can be wives and mothers. True freedom means women can be dependent if they want. Feminism wasn't about freedom. Feminism was about forcing specific ideology. I go to therapy about this. My therapist helps me process. You were trying to save your daughter from what you saw as oppression, but she doesn't feel oppressed. She feels fulfilled. I say, I was wrong. Therapist says, you were protecting. You were projecting your experience. But your daughter's experience is different. She can have different values. I realize I need to apologize to more than my daughter. I need to apologize to all the women. I told that traditional marriage was oppression. I need to acknowledge that some women want it. I need to apologize to feminism for taking too far, for being dogmatic, for not allowing choice. I decide to write something, public acknowledgement of my error. But I hesitate, because admitting I was wrong means questioning 30 years of work, means admitting feminism went too far, means admitting I was wrong. This is difficult. I decide to interview my mother. My mother is 75, traditional woman. She never worked outside home. She stayed home, raised us. I spent years thinking she was oppressed. I spent years thinking she wasted her life. I ask her, were you happy? She responds, yes, I was happy. I loved raising you. I loved being your mother. I didn't feel oppressed. I felt fulfilled. I ask, did you ever want to work? She says, sometimes I thought about it. But mostly I was satisfied. Being mother was enough for me. I ask, don't you regret not having career? She responds, no, I had purpose. My purpose was raising you. That was fulfilling. I don't regret it. I'm realizing something. My mother wasn't oppressed. My mother was actually happy. I spent years thinking I was saving her from oppression. But she wasn't oppressed. She was just choosing different values than me. This was revelation. I asked my mother, do you think I was wrong? Rejecting traditional role. She responds, no, you weren't wrong. You want a different life? That's okay. But I also want a different life than you. And that should be okay too. I realize this. My mother accepts my choices. But I never accepted her choices. I thought I was enlightened. But I was actually intolerant. I interview my son. My son is 30, he's traditional too. He wants wife who stays home. He wants to be breadwinner. I ask him, why do you want this? He responds, because I want family. Because I want to provide. Because I want partnership. I don't understand why feminism attacks this. I ask, do you want a wife who has no independence? He says, no. I want wife who chooses to stay home. Not wife who's forced. I want partner I chose. Who chose me back. I realize my son is actually thoughtful. He's not trying to oppress women. He's trying to build family. Based on choice, not force. This is actually healthy. I start investigating feminism more critically. Asking, did feminism do harm? Asking, did feminism force ideology? Asking, did feminism prevent real choice? Research shows young women are actually rejecting feminism. Young women want traditional roles more than before. Young women feel pressured by feminism. To be career-focused, to be independent. Young women feel like they're failing feminism. If they want family, if they want to be mothers, if they want traditional marriage. This is toxicity. This is oppression, actually. Feminism became what it fought against. Feminism became forcing ideology on women. I realized I was part of this. I was forcing my daughter into feminist ideology. I was preventing her from choosing. I was being oppressive. I go back to my daughter again. I tell her, I've been thinking about this. I realize I was wrong. I realize I was trying to force feminism on you. I realize I was preventing your choice. I'm sorry, she responds. Mom, I appreciate that. But what matters now is, can you accept my choices? I tell her, yes. I accept your choices. I accept that you want traditional marriage. I accept that you want to be wife and mother. I support you. She starts crying. I was so scared you'd reject me. I was so scared you'd think I wasted potential. I hold her. I won't reject you. Your potential is being happy. Your potential is building life you want, even if it's different from my life. I realized something profound. Feminism was supposed to give women choice, but feminism actually restricted choice. Feminism said, you can be anything you want. But then feminism said, but not that, not traditional role. That's not real choice. That's forced ideology. Real choice means women can be career-focused and independent, or family-focused and traditional, or somewhere in between. All should be valid. All should be celebrated. I realize feminism failed. I realize I failed. I failed by not allowing choice. I failed by forcing ideology. I failed by not listening to my daughter. I interview younger feminists. Ask them, what do you think about younger women wanting traditional roles? First young feminist. It's betrayal. They're rejecting what we fought for. They're going backward. I respond. Or maybe they're choosing for themselves. Second young feminist. If they want traditional roles, they're victims of patriarchy. They're indoctrinated. I respond. Or maybe they've thought about it, and they've decided it's what they want. Third young feminist. We need to educate them. We need to show them feminism. I respond. Or maybe we need to listen. Listen to what they actually want. I realize young feminism hasn't learned from our mistakes. Young feminism is still trying to force ideology. Young feminism is still denying women choice. Young feminism is still intolerant. This is tragedy. This cycle will repeat. Unless feminism changes. Unless feminism becomes truly about choice. Not about forcing ideology. I make decision. I'm going to reframe my feminism. I'm going to focus on real choice, not ideology. I'm going to acknowledge that women want different things. And that's okay. I'm going to support my daughter in her choices, even though they're different from mine. I realize this is hard, after 30 years of fighting, but it's necessary. I interview my daughter one more time. Ask her, what would you want me to do? With my platform, with my voice. She responds, stop telling women what to want. Start listening to what they want. Support all choices, whether it's career or traditional. That's real feminism. That's real freedom. I realize she's right. She's more feminist than me. She actually believes in choice. I've been fake feminist. I've been forcing ideology. My daughter taught me what real feminism should be. I end this conversation knowing I was destroyed by my daughter. Not in bad way, but in necessary way. My daughter destroyed my false certainty. My daughter destroyed my dogmatism. My daughter destroyed my intolerance. And that was good. That was necessary. That was growth. I'm 52 and I'm finally learning to let women choose, to listen instead of tell, to support instead of force. This is my destruction. This is my education. This is what happened when feminist mother met daughter who wanted traditional marriage and realized she was wrong.